is a merciless battlefield. Here, species brutally collide with their fearsome weapons in a big battle for survival. But when the own kind beat the sworn enemy, then the weapons can decide who lives and who dies. In this savage battlefield, anything could happen. This is battle for existence. India. The country is as diverse as a continent. Here, once great battles were fought with swords. But there's a new kind of war is raging in these tropical battlefields. The forests of India, land of the tigers, the largest of all the big cats. 4.5 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing closely 550 pounds. They can race at 40 miles per hour. This mighty assassin can break a spine with a violent bite. They need to eat at least 55 pounds of meat a day to survive. Tigers are solitary animals, but territorial disputes often commit bloodbaths. On an Indian game reserve, this battle scarred veteran violently patrols his 60 square miles heath. But this estate's rich dimension of food supply draws a hard resolute youngster who has no territory of his own to call home. Reserve guides have marked this furious veteran male who has killed 3 adolescent tiger siblings for threatening the ownership of this climb. But the boiling blood makes this young tiger more determined to stand the old cat with his outrageous killer instinct. For a life-threatening decision, this could be his last attempt. The veteran slammed into his rival. The youngster jabs his neck. 4 sets of blades staring at the face. Their 4-inch claws can easily handle the body. The youngster pins down the savage killing machine. But it's a critical mistake. The youngster belly up exposes the vital limbs. The old cat jabs his throat. Among the big cats, tigers have the longest canine teeth. At 3 inches, it can easily crush down a skull. Behind the canines, close-fitted back teeth are designed for cutting and tearing. The veteran tightens his grip. His 1,000-pound bite crosses the windpipe. The youngster's life ends through a bloody suffocation. It's a malicious display of dominance. Mother Nature always reminds that the wilds are savage, hostile, and brutal. In the bushlands of Western Africa, a pair of kudu locked in a deadly battle for mating rights. The landowner caught a young buck challenging his authority. They mostly found in the sub-Saharan and deserted parts of Africa. Greater kudus stray in bachelor groups that can be numbered over 16 to 20. And every herd is ruled by a powerful, experienced, dominant male. But when mating season arrives, then competition for mating rights could be dangerous. £600 of bones and muscles slam into each other. They aimed their sword-shaped horns to outbalance their enemies. While trying to stab the landowner with these carved horns, the challenger's leg locked into his horns. If he cannot release his leg, it could be a death sentence. And the landowner can break his leg with a savage strike. After a vicious struggle, the young buck frees himself and regains his strength. Their horns can grow over a 4.5 feet in length. A violent thrash to the exposed back could be fatal. Both animals are struggling to pass on their own genes. The pair is exhausted and in a slaying frenzy. But African plains are packed full with deadly threats. A brutal predator waits for its time. It's an ambush. Focuses on the rut. They cannot realize the hunter's approach. The challenger is in the grip of death. The lioness kills her victims with a fatal deadlock. At last, he becomes the lunch for Africa's apex predators. The victorious landowner returns to the safety of his herd with a victory from a three-ends battle. He unleashed from the battle the lion attack, and his legacy will live on. In Scotland, among the assembly of outrageous roosters, an Iceland battle is on for mating rights. This infidel is on an invasion to this old tyrant. He is the king of this climb. He violently encounters the culprits. But this blood-eyed culprit need to destroy the perils against him to pass on his own genes. And this time, the testosterone hormone produces huge quantity of aggression for a bloody malice. And females also want their endearing mate, who produces a violent envy to the other bachelors. Males have dark complexions with a crimson crown on the top of their heads. They can be measured over 4 pounds and 2 feet tall in length. Every resident male dominates a harem of 15 hens in a 900 square feet lake. And when the mating game disperses among the strangers, then the old king must need to regain his esteem by sieging the invaders with a befitting battle armory. So the crafty bachelor culminates his offenses with a fearful invasion on the old king. He has no pretension about his strength. The king brings his beak to sever the opponent's flesh. Wings deliver maximum torment. Their struggling expedients are vicious. They aim their half-inch beaks to shred their eyes. The simmered would end their lives with famine, or gradually making them the food of scavengers. So the phantasm on the king's distracted mind conceals his brawn to murder his rival. 1-inch daggers aimed at the belly to draw blood. The envious bachelor is overpowered, and a merciless stab from the old king banishes all the valor of the young cock. The young male is exhausted, and the hens get their enormous partner for the origination of the next mighty scions to continue the lineage of an ancient rooster blood. And the banished young male must need to rebuild his stamina for the establishment of a new kingdom of his own. In any violent battle, sword can be a fearsome weapon. But when a brute force culminates this arm, Their life struggle can consequent into a dreadful phantasm. The Kaziranga National Park, northeastern India, habitat place for India's one of the largest endangered species. Here, the Rhinoceros unicornis, or the one-horned Indian rhinos, spend their lives through conservation. For the unlimited poaching of these beautiful giants, their number is dynamically decreasing. For their enormous size, few brave-hearted beasts rely on their courage to take them down. Rhinos don't like bustles and noisy surroundings. So you can find rhinos grazing in a herd, but separately from one another. Females give birth only a single cub in 2 years. So each cubs are valuable for the existence of these extinguished creatures. Every herd is ruled by a powerful, gigantic, dominant male, and his frontier can be bounded over 50 square miles. Standing up to 5 feet from the ground and knowing closely 3 tons. A huge rhino may have poor eyesight but strong sense of hearing. Males mark their territories by constantly preparing the dung hills. So, it's easy to pick up the presence of an adult rhino to the poachers by marking the dung hills. But it also spread a clear message to the outsiders that stay away from my land. In mating season, the boss is seeking females in stress. They are his property, and he is determined to create his next generation. But nursing mothers are highly aggressive. A young bachelor enters in the boss's turf. And the boss spots him. He needs to go in a head-to-head combat. A young bachelor male takes a serious life-threatening decision. He decides to take down the boss to establish his own bloodline. They size each other up by moving their heads. Then the boss charges. They are evenly matched. So the brawn cannot make a clear decision. But suddenly, the bachelor male spots a female rhino. She has a young calf. The bachelor is overambitious, so he will do anything to get the female. But the mom charges, defending her young. A rhino horn can grow over 2 feet. So a well-aimed stab could be fatal. The mom is furious. And finally, the bachelor's ambition is broken. The mom chooses her own path, leaving the outsider beaten. When bloodlines is at stake, carnal instinct can end the life with a tragic suffocation. In the reptile kingdom, among the venomous serpents, the king of a deadly nightmare is now on the hunt for love. He is the Indian king cobra, famous for its paralyzing strike. Cobras are lone carnivores, but they are highly aggressive while defending their land or life from hunters, other snakes, or their eternal sworn enemy, the mongoose. They even do cannibalism, anything to survive. But in mating season, when two males find the same female in heat, there's begin a fierce competition. The outsider tries to brutalize his opponent. He wants to enjoy the entire lust of his own. The furious resident male lands a savage bite on the throat. The outsider tightens his coil. He cannot release himself, but the resident guy still neutralizing his victim. His fangs digs deep, and then he starts injecting his venom. A fully grown cobra can release 2 ml venom in a single strike. King cobras have fatal neurotoxic venom. When it's injected, the venom initially affects the nervous system of the victim. The venom contains lethal neurotoxins that spreads rapidly in the bloodstream, causing respiratory breakdown, serious paralysis, and eventually a tragic death. It's a deadlock. The outsider is in the grip of his enemy. The landowner jabs his head, avoiding his fatal fangs. His vertebra can be easily broken by his furious enemy. But the resident guy releases his victim after a vicious brutalization. The outsider is beaten but alive. The forests of Japan, battleground of an ancient fighter. Under the lost canopy and over the huge tree trunk, a colossal knight finds a gift. He is a Japanese rhinoceros beetle, the supreme inborn fighter in the animal kingdom. They are built for combat. In mating season, this Casanova finds a female beetle, but there's a challenger waits for its time. Now they must decide soon who can get the date. They are evenly matched. Their combat style, known as the paw lifting, that means lift the weaker from the ground and then throw it from the arena. A rhino beetle can grow up to 7 inches, and their horns are the essential weapon for survival. They can lift objects 850 times their weight, and they use this extreme strength to lift their heavily armored half-pound book. The challenger is in a classic defense mode. He uses his claws to make a firm grip, but the Casanova stabs are felicious. He gores his opponent, and finally he deals a winning stab and grabs the invader in his 3-inch horn. Then the invader feels the power of experience. He is violently thrown out from the treetop arena, and then he feels a cracking impact shot. Hard seat of chitin heals the impact and protects from the gravitational force. The victorious Casanova now gets the white chance to reunite with the female.